Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 110 of So What's Been Happening on Wednesday, the 11th of October. This is an exciting night. It's the end of a three-peat that we've done back-to-back. It's the last one for a few days, but excitingly enough, we get to talk to the super talent that is Emilee South. This one I've had in the works for a little while. I've touched base with Emilee and wanted to have a chat to Emilee for quite some time. So I'm glad we've been able to make this work tonight on an exciting week for her with a single debut happening this Friday night at the Old Bar in Collingwood. So make sure you get along to that. How else could you better start a weekend? Let's face it. And thanks for joining me, everyone that joined me Monday night for Velvet Bloom with Maddie Edwards and also Stephen Holmes last night from Humble. We had a great chat with those guys. So I look forward to having a chat to Emilee shortly. But the question you say, who is Emilee South? And what is this weekend that we're talking about? That's the exciting part we're going to talk about tonight. So let's bring her up. And I could do the big intro, but there's no point doing the big intro because we're going to let Emilee tell us a little bit about herself and her journey in music tonight. So welcome to episode 110 of So What's Been Happening, Miss Emilee South.
Hey, Aaron. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. No problem.
Thanks for joining us on a Wednesday night, is it Wednesday? Yeah, it is Wednesday. On a super busy Wednesday night for you. I believe a photo shoot was in the works today.
That's right. I just walked in the door like 5 minutes before logging on to check the camera. So the house is just in absolute chaos around me, except for behind.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Yes, it's a busy week. Yeah. Like you
Sure
said,
is.
leading up to the launch on Friday. So I did a photo shoot tonight with Al Parkinson, who is not only my best friend, but an amazing photographer. She takes most of my press shots. And the photo shoot was for the next single coming out, the one we're going to talk about tonight. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you're right. It never stops. And one thing you've been identified by, or I identify you, is that beautiful bright red lipstick, Emilee, that you always feature.
On brand. Yep.
Absolutely. On brand. So we went with a red background tonight.
Thank you very much. This is pro. I feel like I'm on MTV. It's amazing.
Not quite, but we try our best. Look, this show came about really in amongst COVID period where we chatted to a couple of friends and we got sick of the whole Zoom factor. So we jumped on and we went live. We had a chat to some musician friends that obviously the whole industry got shut down overnight, as we know, including yourself. And we just started bringing on muso mates and see how they feel, made sure they were okay and had a chat. And after all this, on the back of this, 100 odd episodes later, we're still here and we're chatting to new musicians as well about life, about releases, about life after COVID. We want to forget that time. Although it was such a good time for a lot of artists because they got a chance to write new material and have an outlet effectively. Wasn't that way for everyone. So let's go back a little bit with I want to start off when you're a very young girl.
Yeah.
What's your first memory of music and how did it come about?
Well, I mean, I've always loved music. I've always, it's something that was just around that I've always felt very excited by, and like that wonderful feeling of kind of like just music playing really loudly. I still love listening to music like super loud. My parents would play music through the house. Neither of them are musicians. They love music, especially my dad. But so just having music on all the time. I was glued to the radio as a kid. Like, at the time when I was in primary school, listening to lots of just kind of commercial radio stations. But that was just like this little clock radio next to my bed, and I'd fall asleep with it on, and then that upgraded to like the CD player with, and just there I would have music on all the time. And I guess I would sing all the time as a kid, but very shyly and not in front of people, and only when I thought my parents weren't around. So I mean, I've always loved it. Yeah.
And any memory of a particular artist that you loved growing up with as a youngster?
Like young as in a kid, you mean? Like, or a teenager?
Let's go with a kid first.
Yeah, I mean, my mum used to play Edith Piaf a lot, so I used to love listening to her.
Yeah.
That big, huge, amazing voice and the strings. And as a kid, I really listened to a lot of pop music. I grew up in the outer suburbs, and access to live. I didn't even realize live music was a thing really until I was much older. In Melbourne. So just anything that was playing on the radio is what I really loved. Like pop artists, like I was obsessed with the Spice Girls when I was grade 5 and 6, and I have
to ask, what was your favorite Spice Girl then?
Well, I think my favorite I was always Sporty Spice because I had like the brown hair and the ponytail, and so that's who I was in my friend group's little Spice Girls cover band situation in grade 5. But I mean, probably Ginger Spice was my favorite.
She definitely was one with a lot of talent, that's for sure. Some were there for their looks, but they all what an amazing group. It's interesting. I was just watching the new David Beckham doco that's out now, and a couple of episodes in. It's obviously very much around that era. When they kicked off.
I saw a really good clip of him getting Posh to confess that she was driven to school in a Rolls Royce, which is very fitting for Posh Spice.
Yes, she started off mentioning that she was from a working class family, and
that's
not quite.
Hilarious.
I
mean, I listened to lots of pop as a kid because that's kind of what was on the radio. That's what I was exposed to.
And music as a teenager for you, it obviously changed from pop, did it? Or did it?
Definitely. I mean, I started playing guitar. I really got into bands like all the classics, which is like, I'm a guitar teacher now and I teach young kids, and it's just like, it feels like the same songs. Everyone wants to learn the same songs that I wanted to learn as a kid, and like all the same bands that I was getting into are what kids are still getting into when they kind of discover like electric guitar and music. And so, all the classics, like I was obsessed with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was the first concert I went to. First song I learned on guitar was Can't Stop. So Chili Peppers, like the Foo Fighters, they were kind of the big bands when I was, 14, 15. And, Nirvana and, Metallica and kind of all of that, like heavy kind of electric guitar kind of stuff, like all the kind of grunge rock. Yes, that was what I was into as a teenager.
Nice diverse mix there, for sure. And from there, you mentioned your first concert, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Where was it? Do you remember?
It was at Rod Laver Arena.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 14 and they were doing their By the Way tour. So it would have been 2001 maybe? 2001.
Yeah, around then.
So it was a big deal to be going to that. It was like me and one other friend who were young, and we went with some older friends, and it was just like, it was amazing. But
we always remember your first one.
You always remember your first one, yeah. I was so far away from the stage, though. I was just like, my first experience of a mosh pit, or it wasn't really a mosh pit. It was pretty tame where we were because we were so far back. It was pretty exciting experience to go and see a band live. Yeah.
Absolutely, especially one with such energy that Chili Peppers and still have today for sure.
I haven't listened to them in a really, really long time, but they were, the the band that kind of got me into playing guitar, at least. So,
well, I urge
yeah.
you to dig them out for old time's sake, because there's some
Yeah.
killer old albums there,
Yeah.
and they haven't aged, honestly. So they're still rocking out, as we know.
Yeah, cool.
So the guitar, what age did you pick it up, and why was it the guitar for you?
I mean, I started learning guitar when I was in grade 5, just at school. Like, you know, there was a music class that was run at my primary school. One of the classroom teachers or art teachers, she just started running kind of after school guitar lessons. And so I was keen to go along because my best friend was going along, and convinced my parents to get me like a little kind of nylon string acoustic guitar so I could go to guitar lessons. And I think I learnt 2 chords, which was great. It was fun, but I'm a highly undisciplined person, so I don't think I kept at it for very long. So the guitar kind of just, you know, like a string broke and whatever, it just ended up in the cupboard. And then I was, you know, 14 or 15 and started, you know, going to house parties with my friends, and 2 friends of mine, Ben and Jez, just taught me how to play Can't Stop on guitar. And I just thought it was the coolest thing ever, because I was like, oh, I can play this song that sounds like this song that I really love listening to. And from then I just went home, and I think there was like a string missing on my guitar, so I figured out how to play it without the string there. And it was just, I just couldn't stop playing guitar. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's a fitting song to learn.
Fitting song, it's true. I never
first.
thought of it like that, literally, till it just came out of my
mouth. And funnily enough, you would have been one of the cool kids if you could play guitar, for sure.
I guess so, yeah. There weren't many, it wasn't a huge music program at my school, so there weren't heaps of my friends who played music and played guitar, but you know, I did have some friends outside of school who were into it. And I was that like annoying person at every party where it's like, if there's a guitar in the corner, I just couldn't stop looking at the guitar and like be like, when is it my turn to play? It's a teenager. Exactly. Yeah, it's a real thing.
That's really cool. And then obviously combining singing, when did the song and the guitar kind of join together for you?
Well, I guess I always sung as a kid as well. Like, I was always singing at home by myself, hoping no one could hear, or like, you know, with my friends, singing Spice Girl songs and stuff as a really young kid. And then getting a bit older, and before learning guitar, would be like singing in my lounge room to like Killing Heidi and, you know, amazing Ella Hooper. She's incredible still. And like all that kind of stuff. And I studied music after I finished high school. I did a music performance course, and it was kind of there. Like, I did that for guitar, and I kind of always wanted to sing. But yeah, the first time I really kind of sang and played in front of anyone else was when I was about 19, like first year uni and second year uni. And from there, it just kind of, it was the most terrifying thing I'd ever done, but also felt really great to do. And I just that's kind of, I guess I was into like Jeff Buckley at the time more and more, kind of like indie stuff, and loved learning his songs on guitar and singing them. And so yeah, kind of started there, I guess.
Yeah. And what was the amazing part about Jeff Buckley really for you? Was it lyrically, or was it just the way the songs happened? Or obviously he was a beautiful man, let's face it. But other than that, the guitar, what was it for you?
I think it was all of it. I think initially it was a person who like played guitar that, you know, felt kind of fun and interesting and cool and like a bit challenging to like learn the guitar parts, which is what I really liked at the time. And then also the singing was really beautiful, and kind of, I mean, he's such a beautiful singer. There's such a beautiful singer. I just found Grace, the album, in my dad's like CD rack, and pulled it out once and listened to it, and was just like, what is this? This is incredible. And just kind of wanted to learn all the songs from the album. I had like the tab book with all I just became obsessed with all of it. I think like just the idea of like playing guitar really well and singing at the same time. And it was really about all.
And just on that, how hard of a challenge was it for you to combine singing with guitar? Because a lot of people can never get it and go one way or another. They keep singing or keep playing guitar and not necessarily both.
Yeah.
Was it a challenge at all?
I'm sure it was. Like, I guess it's been so long since I started doing it. It is. It's a challenge. Like, it can be a challenge still, for sure, depending on the song and how it, you know, how it works together and how the rhythms are. And but I really enjoy it. Like I find, yeah, for me personally, I feel like I struggle doing either of those things separately. So like I really struggle playing guitar in a band if I'm not singing as well. And bass too. Like I always find it easy to play bass and like sing at the same time. And it kind of
Yep.
like centers me within the song, I guess.
Mm.
And likewise, I feel really I just feel totally exposed and nervous and without a guitar while I'm singing. Like it's really fun to do and I love doing it. And I love the idea of being like a front person of a band, like Amy Taylor, who just like completely jumps around on stage and,
Yep.
sends it vocally. But, I think I feel most comfortable when I'm doing both at the same time.
Yep.
Kind of keeps me in check.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk
Yeah.
about keep a band in check. That's one thing you do well. But you also let the band do their bit and have plenty of
Yeah.
moments. It's one of those bands, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. There's so much trust there between us. We've been playing together for a long time. And Matt, my guitar player, who you know, is also my partner. And so we've been playing music together for ages now. And, like he's just amazing. So giving him free reign of something is just, it's great. It's exciting for me to hear the kind of, the things that he can bring to the songs. And same as Will and Dan, like my bass player and drummer. They kind of definitely, I feel like I'm in charge of the band, but at the same time, really like love to give them kind of space to do their thing as well, because they're all just really incredible musicians. Like I'm very grateful to be playing with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Long may it continue for sure.
Yeah.
And the first song you ever wrote, not necessarily recorded, but
Yeah.
did you end up recording your first song you ever wrote so far?
If I really think about it, the first song I ever wrote was probably in primary school with my best friend Karina, and it was called like Cool Charm. We still
Nice.
to this day fight about who actually wrote the song and wrote the lyrics. I
Right.
still think it was me, and she still thinks it was her. But
Yeah.
so that definitely wasn't recorded. We should record it now. But and then I guess when I really started playing songs and when I started writing songs and playing gigs and doing like open mics and all that kind of stuff, I think I recorded a demo of the first few songs that I wrote. I mean, I guess I had to, as part of my uni course, I had to record some stuff, but so I did record at uni, but nothing ever happened with the recordings. I'm sure they're somewhere on like a hard drive or a CD or something like that, somewhere in a cupboard.
A scratch CD or a hard drive that doesn't mount anymore, right? So
Just plug into the computer.
It'll go off into the distance and no one will ever find it. Yeah,
exactly.
So let's talk one of your first singles, How.
Yeah.
We go back a little bit, around 2016-ish, I believe.
That would be right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The good part is Apple documents these dates. So
that's true.
Hopefully that's when you record it, but that's the date that's official.
That's right.
This was the cover.
That's it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And some fantastic artwork you've had along the way, all the way from EPs and also albums themselves. So the hair hasn't changed. That's still part of very much who you are.
Yeah.
But some great covers, some great concepts here. Very much in the vein of the pick behind me. And so is obviously your latest track, Weekend. So we'll talk through that too. But there's some fantastic shot. Red's obviously one of your staples, no question. When did red become part of your love and nature?
I guess like I've always loved the color red. Like I've always it's always been one of my favorite colors. I think like I dress, obviously I'm wearing a red jacket now too, and in all the stuff I'm wearing a lot of red, but I tend to wear a lot of all black, I guess. And so I was living in 2013, just before I released my first EP, the Aloha au revoir, when I was actually living in France and for a couple of years, and I just loved the idea of wearing like red lipstick, and I was in my early 20s and I thought it was so sophisticated and glamorous to wear red lipstick all the time. And that's kind of when it started. I went and used my first few paychecks to go and buy like a really fancy like red French Dior lipstick and was terrified to wear it at start, and then now it's just really become something that I love. And I feel like red's such a strong, bold, powerful color that it's nice the pops of red is something I love. Like I love it in film as well, watching like Twin Peaks, which is one of my favorite series, the David Lynch 90s sitcom. Well, not even it's not a sitcom, is it? It's like a drama series, I guess. Just the way that cinematography is, it's so beautiful, and the reds are just so vibrant and kind of popping in this like kind of green palette. So I'm really like drawn to that that aesthetic, and so I guess it's just kind of without it's just become my brand, I guess.
That's
I
very
just,
much
and I just love it. Yeah, I feel like I don't feel quite right if I'm not wearing like red lipstick or a pop of red somewhere.
interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
It's become part of you now. So,
yeah.
all right,
Sometimes I want to buy other colors, like other clothes in other colors, and I just never wear them. So I'm just like,
right.
oh.
Well, people don't recognize you anymore, even your
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
We always know when Emilee South's in the room. We can spot, not necessarily by height, but
Yeah.
we can definitely find the lipstick for sure.
Definitely get lost in the crowd. Yeah.
No, sure. I want to kick off with Shotgun, the single. This was the album cover. And once again, red's highly featured.
Yeah.
And as we said, is part of you. But this is a great clip. So I just want to play a little bit of it, and then we'll just kind of talk about how this kind of came together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot my mouth like a pistol. I won't give up. This love is like a machete. It cuts me deep. Something I know I regret, but it's on repeat. A bullet, baby, just shoot it. I'm holding on to a bad thing, but I like the heat. You make me feel like a hot dream. It's so sweet. Woo!
2019.
2019. That's right. It's the last time I released music before weekend. Yeah.
Feels like forever.
Yeah, it really does. And actually, it was so nice to just watch the clip just then. I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. I mean, I haven't sat and watched it in quite some time.
Yeah, that's kind of why I play some little snippets of what's around, and people forget elements of the clip, and I urge everyone to jump on YouTube and have a look at all 3 full clips that we're just going to play snippets of tonight. So Shotgun obviously says say no more as far as bring it, because you absolutely did on that and you always do when you play it live. It's one of your greats for sure.
Thank you.
But just tell us a little bit about that clip and how it kind of came together.
I love that you're asking me about this, because it was literally shot on the wall behind me. Matt and I moved into this house at the start of 2019. We're renting in Fitzroy North, and it just kind of had this big kind of like great lounge room, and I just wanted to make a clip that was like a bit DIY. So it was Matt and I working on it together with our friend Jade Ludwig. She's amazing and has like extensive experience in like editing and filming. So she kind of like hired all the gear and came up. I kind of had the concept, I guess, and then she came up with the, how we would do it. And Al Parkinson, who takes all my photos, including the cover for Shotgun, she came and helped out as well, like all the different kind of props and things. I think I just wanted to make something that was like really visually striking and like the really bold colors and cool. So we got this massive piece of MDF board from Bunnings. I can't remember how we even got it to the house because it was so big it wouldn't fit in the back of, like, Matt has a wagon, so it wouldn't fit in the back of that. I think that his parents were around at the time, bless them, and like I think they walked with the piece of MDF from like the hardware store to our house to get it to us, and we painted it blue on one side and red on the other side, and then hung like a big white sheet just to get all the different kind of color combinations. And yeah, it was a lot of fun actually. It's the milk jug is right here. I've got my water in there, so it's the same, the very same. Still exists, still used.
Yeah, it's a great, it's a really good clip, and to be honest, so are all your clips. So, how important is the artistic component of putting a clip together now for your music? And obviously, it flicks me back straight to watching Rage and all the great shows that we grew up with. Yeah, how important is it for you to make sure that the visual component fits a song?
Yeah, it's such a good question because it's like I've always really loved film clips as well and video clips, and like, you know, loved kind of getting home or going to my grandparents after school and watching like MTV, whatever it was, and just watching video clips. And I discovered so much music in that way. And often I'll hear a song and like the first thing I think of are the visuals of the clip. And it feels really exciting to me to kind of like watch a visual, you know, to a song that it just kind of enhances the art, I guess, or adds like another component, like another creative side to the artwork. And obviously there's like a bunch of other people working on it, so there's like a, you know, outside of the band itself, there's so much more that comes into it, which is, it's beautiful, it's amazing. So I've always loved it. Like if I could afford to, I would make a clip for every song on every, you know, thing I've released. You know, I've definitely done some DIY clips like Shotgun, you know, with using the generous time of friends and you know, their skills, and you know, on the very cheap other clips we've made. And so yeah, I mean, I love, for the newest clip that we did with Weekend, like working with Nick McKinley, who does that professionally, you know, and all the time, and has produced and directed some of my favorite videos for artists now. Like, it was such a great experience and so cool to do. But yeah, I mean, like for me, it is important to have visuals. Like I feel like the concept of the album, it gives it like another life, or you know, or a single, or whatever it is, an EP, like a concept of a release, like gets a whole nother life to it. And I guess like you start to think about the song in a different way, like outside of just the music of what it's conveying. And like, so that feels really exciting for me. And especially at the moment, you know, since releasing music in 2019, like now it feels like, because we're, you know, everyone's online all the time and everything is just like a short video clip, like having video content is really important to have, I guess, too. And like I definitely can see the difference of having a strong video. People, you know, maybe will discover the song from that, I guess, or cool thing. And yeah, I love it. Like if I could, like I said, if I had the budget, I'd make a video for every single song I released. It would be so much fun. Like Beyonce's.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I can't tell that any of these are low budget in respect of. So that's been a great
high quality. That's
correct. So you've been able to shoot really good quality footage, and you can't. Even though there's a lot of editing component, obviously you've been able to work with good friends and that have really helped you out along the way. And hopefully in the future, when you're an absolute superstar, you can call them in on a bigger budget. But
their money's coming one day.
Correct. Let's flick back 1 year before that to the Heartbreaker. This is a classic kind of backyard shot to me.
Yes, that was in front of a garage at my grandma's house, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we're going to play a little clip from Heartbreaker as well.
Cool.
Slip up, I love it when you make mistakes. Stand up,
Look at you guys. You were just babies 4 years ago. Look how young everyone looks. Yeah.
That was 2018, I think. So 5 years ago. Absolute babies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool to see. But it's got a whole lot of grease about it, that little diner.
Yes.
Obviously, that's part of the style of the look, the old pinball machines, the old games arcades. It's a great song, Heartbreaker for sure.
Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I mean, that clip was, we recorded both Heartbreaker and Shotgun with Phrase, a really old friend of mine and great friend. He runs the Avery Studios in Abbotsford. So so that's kind of the sound of it. But yeah, the film clip, Ray Caldwell shot that one actually, who plays music under the name Baby Blue. She's a legend. She also designed my Rottweiler t-shirts that I have for sale. There's a few of them left. But yeah, that diner, that was at Coburg Drive-In.
Yes, it did. I was about to ask you, was it Coburg Drive-In?
Yes. The diner as well. I think recently, beautiful Greta Ray has shot a film clip there as well, in the diner with like full choreography, dancers, actors, which is it's amazing. It's such a gorgeous spot. Like it's such a cool. I think we just asked. We went in one day and checked it out and asked Glenn, who was the manager. I know because I had his business card for a long time. And he was like, yeah, sure, I guess, come in and shoot, no worries. So they must get it a lot. I've seen lots of like press shots and videos shot at. I think Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fever did a video there, or at least a photo shoot. Nick McKinley, I think, shot that, and I know that Al's taken photos of like Dan Parsons there, and it's just such a beautiful space. You know, so cool that like a drive-in movie still exists as well. Like, I
could see an Emilee South gig there. Who knows, one day, live gig.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Yeah, someone puts
really
a festival there would be great, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, they would be. Definitely, both a night and day festival.
Why not?
Speaking of festivals, out of all the gigs you've played along the way, how much do you love playing at festivals in comparative to, no matter what size the festival? Obviously, Gem Fest and those little smaller ones. LuliePalooza coming up for you is an exciting time. Do such a great job, no matter how big the festival is. What's your love and experience of festivals?
I mean, I love festivals. They're incredible. I think like the first festival that I played was maybe Bendigo Blues and Roots Music Festival. Colin Thompson used to run that, who's just a legend, and I kind of just went up by myself and played solo, maybe in 2014 or 15. And it was just amazing. Like you just meet so many people and you get to share the stage with, so many incredible acts. Like no matter what the festival is, I feel like a lot of my, friendships and, musical relationships have come from playing festivals and being at festivals and kind of like celebrating with, everyone's in the same place at the same time. And it's just so much music everywhere. Like it's great. Yeah.
Always. And the really important part of festivals is breaking new audiences too. A lot of fans see new bands that they would not necessarily.
Absolutely.
You look through a lineup of a festival and you say, oh, like this is a great lineup. Oh, I don't know these guys. Make sure you get there early. Check out the whole lineup. I guarantee you'll find someone at a festival that you hadn't heard before.
Totally, it's so true, and I feel like that too. Playing festivals or even just going to them, and you absolutely always discover someone whose music you love and continue to listen to and follow, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, sure is. Let's touch on LuliePalooza.
Now. I'm excited.
Coming up November 11.
That's right. Yes, correct.
That is going to be an exciting lineup. It gets bigger and bigger every year, LuliePalooza, for sure.
Incredible. It's so good.
Yeah, and a band, obviously the Murlocs and Coffin, no question, they're absolutely amazing. Full Flower Moon Band is absolutely at the top of their game right now.
Huge.
And the lineup, continues down. Why they may get smaller in name, they're no smaller in stature. I can guarantee you. And some of those names, I guarantee you, in the next few years will be headlining some of these festivals. So
I think so. Yes. It's going to. I'm so excited to play that festival. John Lee and Asia, who have been, putting it all together are just incredible, and they're incredible people, and they're gonna, they're good at throwing a party, so it's going to be great. I think you were at Across the Punt that we played.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was like the Gem and Lulie together.
Yeah, that was cool. Great concept.
Great concept, amazing, and kind of it makes so much sense. So many.
It does.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I haven't seen that done very often. Two venues, switch bands. Not all the bands played both gigs.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But I remember being with 10 or so friends there, and we're like, okay, so do we shoot down a Lulie now, or do we wait here?
Yeah.
What's the deal? And we kind of end up stuck at the Gem for most of it, to be perfectly honest. And it was hardly stuck at the Gem. There was just such a great lineup. And
totally, yeah. I think I was the same. After our set, I stayed at the Gem. I think Bench Press was on after us, so I watched their set, and then stayed for Full Flower Moon Band, who just absolutely blew my face off. They were so amazing, and I've seen them before, but there's something about seeing bands at the Gem. As it's just you're on the floor, the wooden kind of floorboards right next to the band. You're hearing the drum kit straight in your ear. A rock band at the Gem is so great. That was huge. That was so much. They were incredible. So I was so blown away by Full Flower Moon Band that I was they were the only band that I went to Lulie to see again. And I think I missed seeing Dr. Shaw's Unusual. I've seen them before, but I missed them at the Gem, and I think they were the only band I missed. And then I was back at the Gem for the rest of the night. And the vortex that is a Gem.
Yeah, absolutely. And such a tiny little place, but God, do they pack them in, and it's an unbelievable energy in that place. A little L-shaped bar that people and the sounds over to one corner.
But it does,
Absolutely.
Everything in that place shouldn't quite work, but it just works so well, and it's such a good vibe.
And obviously Gem Fest was just on, and for the first time in a long time, there was a little impromptu gig upstairs, which was awesome.
Gym Fest, yes,
yes, Gym Fest kicked off, so that was fantastic to see, and it was one of those rooms that you kind of just felt like, wow, this is a special moment. At Giggle, I go to a truckload of gigs, as a lot of friends of mine do, and we kind of text each other if you're not at the gig and just say, "Man, you just missed gig of the year." So we have a few of those moments, which is great. So I'd urge everyone to get out and see a band in the next few days and this weekend, and most importantly, Friday night. It's going to be a busy one. Your first port of call is right here. You got to be there for sure at the old bar. What time are you on stage?
We're on at 11 p.m. Very late for me, but it's a rock show. So rock and roll, it's not early. Doors are at 8. Kate Alexander, who is absolutely amazing, and she has a full the band. So she usually plays with Nick Finch, and I think Jules plays drums with her. Sorry, from Moody Beaches, and so she's got her regular drummer Jules, and Hannah from Hannah and Jessie Lee's Bad Habits is going to be playing guitar in her band, and then Jessie from Moody Beaches also is going to be playing bass. So it's just a complete incredible band, the four of them. And then we've got Bad Bangs on at 10. So Kate Alexander's on at 9, Bad Bangs at 10, and then we're on at 11.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. What a Friday the 13th in true.
Yeah, that's right.
True crazy style. Anything could happen at the old bar.
Yep.
As it does.
As it does. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's another vortex of the scene, I think. Yeah.
All right. Before we actually, no, let's touch on it now. Let's touch on the band.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Give us these beautiful humans in the lineup that you've put
Matt
together
Dixon.
here. We touched on them before. Yep.
Yeah. So Matt Dixon, who is on the left below me, is amazing. He plays guitar and baritone, also my partner. He's just, he's amazing. He plays pedal steel in a bunch of bands as well. I know that you know some of his music that he plays in. He plays with Luke Sinclair and the Paper Kites, and he's been playing with Hannah Cameron as well, who is gorgeous. And yes, he kind of plays with everyone. He's right now rehearsing for a show that he's playing tomorrow with Timothy Wolf, and he's just that's it exactly. Yep. So that's tomorrow night.
We have to give it a quick pump because it's going to be a great show. A new lineup for Timothy. He's a
That's
friend of the
right.
show. Obviously,
Yeah.
his first album is incredible. This album is probably going to be hard to top, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a ripper as well. So, I mean, Matt
Yeah.
does an incredible job on pedal steel.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful. So, shout out to Matty Dixon. You're doing
Yeah.
incredible things, Matt. Keep it up. And to have Timothy Wolf out front will be a special moment at the
Yeah.
theatre for sure.
Well, I think it's going to be beautiful. And also the Thornbury Theatre is just such a beautiful venue to see, you know, especially, you know, you can kind of sit down and just enjoy the show, and the theatre itself is gorgeous. So, yeah. But yeah,
Right,
Matt,
and there's one more in the band.
there's well, Will is on my right in that photo, and he
Two
plays
more,
bass. Two more, yeah. Will, he's a great friend of mine. We've been friends since we were like 16 years old. So we met at a house party and just kind of, yeah, we've been really great friends ever since. And we've been playing music together actually. Like when I first started gigging, we used to play in like a folk duo together and do a bunch of, I guess, kind of. He really inspired my love of like country music, I guess, and like Gillian Welch and all of that sort of stuff. So that was, we used to write songs together, and a lot of playing with him taught me a lot about singing harmonies, and so yeah, we've been friends for a really long time, and he's amazing, and he still plays bass in the band, and he doesn't really play with many other people. He has a couple of bands that he plays with for fun, and but this is kind of his main music gig, I guess.
Cool.
He's,
Stealing for yourself.
Yep. Yeah. It's easy. As if he'll never have another gig booked when I'm playing. So that's good.
Yep.
And then Dan Berry plays drums with us, who's amazing. They're all on the recording of Weekend and all the other stuff. Actually, and everything on Motel as well. That's the band that you can hear. Dan Berry's amazing. He also plays in the Horns of Leroy, and he's great. He's just an amazing drummer. He brings so much energy, and he's an absolute sweetheart. And incredible rock drummer. Aside from like he kind of does lots of kind of jazz stuff, and Horns of Leroy is like a New Orleans sort of jazz band, and but yeah, he just brings fire to the band with us.
Yeah. And just while we're touching on that, give us an artist that we may know, but give us one that maybe we don't know that that you see out there a bit, or you've connected with, and you've thought, guys, you've just got to see this guys or this band. Who is it for you at the moment?
For me at the moment, it is. Let me think about this. I mean, there are so many. This is such a hard question. Just one?
It is. I just want one.
One. I'm going to say a young band called Hot Glue.
Right.
They firstly have the best band name ever to exist, Hot Glue. They've just released an album called Hatchet, and it's so great. They're actually, so Matt and I both teach at a school in Albert Park, and both of the siblings in that band went to that school. So we've taught both of them. I taught Pearl when they were in year 12 in 2019.
Yep.
So, and now they're kind of like, they're both out there. Lily's older, and they're a 3-piece with Henry on drums, and their sound live is just huge. It's kind of like a bit like Big Thief and a bit like Nirvana, I'm going to say, like grunge kind of.
Yeah. Yep.
Huge distorted heavy guitars, great bass riffs, or like great drumming, beautiful harmonies, like their siblings, so they harmonize beautifully, and their songs are incredible. So definitely and they're playing a lot. Like they're in their really early 20s, and they're just gigging a ton. They just did like an album launch a couple of weeks ago, and it was incredible. And they're just a great band to go and see them now while you can, because the tickets aren't very expensive, and soon they're going to be blowing off. They just supported Carla Geneve at the Nightcat as well, so they're breaking.
Yeah, very good. It's always good to hear a band as they're coming through, and we always talk about it. Get them before they're big, because you definitely remember those moments for sure. Yeah,
absolutely, and they're just really incredible and great kids.
Yeah. And another band doing amazing things that I've seen recently quite a few times is Sweet Talk. So
cool.
If you haven't seen them, or anyone out there on the show that is listening or watching that hasn't seen these guys, they've got a run of shows coming up. They're incredible. 5 or 6 guys in the band, all incredible harmonies. They all sing It's phenomenal. So get amongst it. There you go. There's one from me. So, all right, we're going to talk about Weekend.
Yeah.
And this is the clip that you're going to see, or you're obviously not going to see the clip on Friday night, but you're going to see it raw and live at the Old Bar. But here it is, the clip first, called Weekend. There you go. There's a snippet of it. Weekend. What a cool clip.
Yeah.
Flashes you back to the old days of working offices when everyone had to be in the office. There's a bit of fun in the office. The old birthdays. Plenty of things happened there. How fun was shooting that little clip?
Oh, it was so much fun. I had the best time. It was incredible. As you can see that it's not Dan Berry on the drums, the same as the photo. Rob Munoz came and played drums with us for the clip, and so you would have seen him playing guitar with us actually at Across the Punt when Matt was overseas with the Paper Kites. So he was hilarious. Rob is always hilarious. He'll be playing LuliePalooza with us as well. So he's like an honorary band member.
Yeah.
Always funny. Al is hilarious. So Al, who is the main star in the Yellow Jacket, she's one who takes all my photos and is my best friend. And so she was also hilarious. She just nailed the role of, office worker in all the references. And it was such a good time. Matt actually he cooked his dates when he just been on tour with the Paper Kites, and he was coming back, and he thought he was back on Monday, and we were shooting on Wednesday, and he didn't consider like the time difference between like Canada and Australia. So he actually got back at like 1 p.m. on the Wednesday of the shoot.
Yeah.
So, but he was amazing. He just pushed through the jet lag, and we were there till 1 a.m. shooting at Nick's studio. So yeah, he did a great job. Will was great. He was actually like, the whole song was about working, and he just came straight from working in his office kit, which was great. The clip itself was incredible. Like so much fun to make. And Nick McKinley, who directed it and produced it, he is just so great to work with. And he gave so much time and consideration to the entire project. And he really wanted to he's been a friend for a long time, and he just really wanted to understand what I wanted to see in the clip and really get behind it, and kind of like behind the song itself and the references. And, we had so many kind of chats and meetings to talk about what we wanted it to look like. And he kind of honored everything so beautifully. And he's so great at what he does. I could not kind of conceptualize like a story in a video clip, but he did such a good job of doing that. And Lonnie Thompson did all the art direction, and she was incredible. Like, she went and sourced like the fax machine that we crush at the end with the golf club, and all the balloons and the cakes and everything. She just the folders actually. So we shot it at Nick's studio in Thornbury, which I had never been to before. And I walked in and it was set like that, like it is in the film clip. And I was like, oh, it's just an office space. Great. They're like, no, it doesn't look anything like this usually. So the next day when I went to like pick up stuff, I was like, oh, wow, they really set the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so, come out so great. It's good. It's really very much like an episode of a show you'd picture back years ago, and you just kind of picture that whole office hijinks on a Friday afternoon, ready to go before the weekend. It's really cool.
Yeah. I'm glad that comes across because that was a references were like 9 to 5, the Dolly Parton movie. With Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda, and like Office Space, which the kind of smashing of the printer at the end is an homage to that, and The Office, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm glad it comes across. I think they did a great job.
Well done, firstly to you, and congratulations on the single.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Look forward to seeing it live Friday night. And also congratulations to the rest of the band and everyone else that put anything to do with conceptually and filming this. I saw a few outtakes and behind the scenes of this clip as well, which is really cool to kind of put out in little snippets and capture. And just shows the kind of hard work that gets done behind the scenes and the amount of detail and the amount of effort that generally photographers and videographers and stuff don't get to see, or you don't get to see them. So
totally.
Well done.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Aaron. And a shout out as well to like Anna Lavity, who produced the clip and produced the song itself and engineered, and Joe Carra, who mastered it. And so much work by so many amazing people that goes into releasing a song, and I appreciate them all very much, and I'm very grateful to be able to do it. So
definitely.
Thanks so much. Yeah,
and hopefully Friday can be one big party to kick off the weekend.
Yes, Friday night, Friday.
Friday, yes.
As they say,
And I was lucky enough to meet your dad actually at the Gem one night. Playing, it was an absolute ball. Queenie was opening for you.
That's right. Yes,
and it was he was on. Yep. And your dad had a very good chat with me, like he did with everyone that night at the bar, no doubt.
He'll be watching this. So you absolutely. Right. He'll be there on Peter South. He'll be there on Friday night.
Out of all the people at the bar, he was probably the proudest man in the room that night for sure, to see his daughter up there absolutely killing it. So
he's a great supporter of my music, and I appreciate it. And he will be well behaved on Friday night.
But at the start, maybe not at 11 o'clock, but we'll see. All right, so shout out to your dad for being one of those guys that introduced himself and said hello. One of those guys that makes you feel comfortable in the room for sure. So
that's nice to hear.
Give us one of your biggest influences on your career, just to kind of finish off.
Biggest influences on my career, like in terms of like far. Influence of music.
Music in particular, music, yeah.
Wow, that's
it doesn't necessarily have to be music. It can be someone that's really instilled something in you, if you think of almost every day, and it comes across in you, in the person you are today.
Well, I'm gonna say Al Parkinson, who has, I think without her, I would not be playing music now, because when she was the one who encouraged me to kind of like play my songs in front of people, and we played our first gig together, and she kind of moved on to manage some huge bands and do an amazing job of that. And she's just kind of gives me her time, and advice always. So I feel like, Al Parkinson for sure, who is, gives me, I often say this to her, I'm like, I would not be playing music if it wasn't for you helping me play music. So definitely Al. And, really kind of like so many of the women in the music industry who work behind the scenes, who do so much work and offer so much advice and give so much of their time, to other people who are just trying to do the same thing that they're doing. So, huge shout out to everyone like that. Like Elise Newman, who's been doing my publicity, is incredible. And so many people, Cara Williams, who's helped me, and Sabby from Maths and Magic, and there's so many incredible like women who are like managing bands and doing all that stuff behind the scene and learn all these skills and kind of like fight in the industry to give people a voice. So for sure, Al Parkinson is the one.
Beautiful. great shout out.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of last ones I must admit. If you could go and play one venue right now, can be anywhere you've ever been or wanted to be, anywhere in the world, you could be transported tonight. There's a couple of questions there. Where would it be?
Yeah.
And obviously you're headlining, but you can have any band you want as your support. Forget the level that they are, but who would you really love to support you?
I think like I don't know all of the huge venues in Paris, but I'd love to be playing a headline show in Paris. That's a dream.
Perfect.
For sure. So somewhere in Paris, the lineup would be, oh gosh. So it doesn't matter if they're a bigger band. Is that what you're saying?
No, you can have anyone.
Whew. I mean, I'd just like to play with my friends, really. Like, I'd like the
That's
same
cool.
lineup as Friday night. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And just have a party together. Can it be a festival?
It's about to be. Yep.
It's about to be. Love to play with Emilee and the Sniffers, Idols.
Yep.
One of my favorite bands, Cash Savage, who I know plays in France quite a lot, who is obviously amazing and a stalwart of the Melbourne scene.
Yep.
Kate Alexander and Bad Bangs, who I get to play with on Friday. That's who
Very
I'd like
cool.
to play with. Yeah. Everyone,
Sounds
all the bands, Full Flower Moon Band, Enola.
Yep. Yeah. There's plenty. It's a big festival.
There's
about
plenty.
To happen.
It's really hard to choose. It's a hard question. But in Paris.
Correct. Okay, we've got that part locked in.
Yeah.
And the most important part is you get a little teaser of what could happen in Paris one day at the old bar this Friday night. Don't forget it. Be there early. I think it's doors at 8 normally.
Doors at 8.
Yeah, make sure you get there because it's gonna be busy. I can tell you.
Busy.
Friday the 13th.
Pre-sales are moving, so I do recommend buying a pre-sale if you can.
Brilliant.
And they're a little bit cheaper as well. So buy a pre-sale, you'll save like a couple of bucks on the door, and
That just means a couple of bucks extra. You've got to buy Emilee a drink or go and buy some merch.
True.
Most importantly,
buy some merch. Exactly. Yep.
Look after the band. So, all right, we're going to finish with this last question, which normally gets asked by one of the boys that jump on the show. Is you're having a dinner party.
Yep.
You're inviting 5 guests.
Okay.
They can be living or dead. Who will they be?
Well, that's a hard question too. 5 guests, living or dead. So,
Correct.
like, is the party at my house?
The party, you can nominate where the party is too.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
We were in France before.
We were in France
Paris,
before.
really.
Okay.
We're in Paris, yeah.
In Paris, yes, Paris, France. Wow, 5 guests, living or dead. I feel like I'm really bad at these questions because generally I'm just like, well, I'd just really like to see my friends actually because it's been a while. I've been pretty busy.
Yeah.
5
It
guests.
just shows that honestly, just even that answer shows how important your friendship group kind of is to you. And it's so important that shows like this kind of happen to talk about friends and life and introducing new friends. I consider you someone very much to say hello to all the time, that big smiling face every time I see you. Em at a gig. And Matt has become a friend of mine, and it's just fantastic to see him meet new artists, and that's the reason we did this show. So long may it continue for a while.
Yeah, it's so great, and I can't wait to watch. You've got a backlog of episodes, 109 episodes I need to watch.
Well, mate, they're not all good ones. I'll tell you the good ones.
That's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, and any friends or bands or anyone that ever wants to be part of this, we always look forward to having a chat to someone and chat about new music, most importantly. And
I'll be sending.
And it stays in this little library in the sky that people can jump on at any time and find out a bit more about the band. So, all right, back to the dinner table.
Back to the dinner table. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just am thinking about having like all of my best friends at the dinner table. That would be great for me. But if I'm gonna go to like,
we'll give all them as one seat. They can all have one seat.
All right,
gorgeous. One down.
So like people who are known.
They don't have to be known. You're nominating them now. Well,
all right. I think people who I'd like to have a conversation with. I think like Brittany Howard would be a lot of fun, and I love her from the Alabama Shakes and from her own kind of stuff. Like she's one of my favorite musicians. Gosh, I just feel like I just want to make the perfect party, but actually I'm just going to say who I'd like to meet. It would be fun to have PJ Harvey at the table. That would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
She could be a bit of a bummer, but I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
You never know. That's the thing. Gosh, 5 people. So we've got,
So all your friends, they're on one seat.
my friends. They're already there. Okay. We've got Brittany Howard, PJ Harvey. Already, I feel like this is a mistaken dinner party, but we're going to have, I mean, I'm going to say Etta James.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who would be like the most fun. Gosh, this is such a hard question. Really thinking about
that's why we don't prepare.
That's yeah. Who else am I going to say? I keep wanting to say Bob Dylan, but I actually don't think I would like to have dinner with Bob Dylan. I think I'd get quite like, as much as I love what he's done over the years, I think I'd get quite annoyed by him.
We had Bob Dylan mentioned last night by Stephen Holmes from Humble, and we had exactly that same conversation of
I don't think
the good or the bad.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay, so we've got Brittany Howard, PJ Harvey. Did I say a third person? Etta James.
Yep.
Let's say Amy Taylor.
Perfect.
And Georgia Mack.
Righto,
Georgia Mack. Party.
Yeah, and then we'll just make it 6, so all your friends are coming as well. So what a party it'll be.
Yeah. Yes.
Fantastic. All right, so let's finish there. We could talk for hours, Emilee, about your life. And congratulations on everything you're doing. It's fantastic to see you out there shining like you will. If you don't get to the old bar, the next opportunity you've got, I think, is LuliePalooza. I'm not sure if you're on before then, but LuliePalooza on the 11th, and it's a massive lineup. So make sure you get a ticket to this. I
think we're playing around 2:30-ish, so get there early.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll sell out actually this year. So be prepared and don't miss it. Don't say we didn't tell you on this show. So there you go.
Thank you so much
thanks
for having me. Thanks, Aaron, and thanks for all your support continuously.
No worries.
And we'll continue the conversation at the Gem or at the Oldie on Friday or at every other gig.
Yeah, we will. Look forward to it. All right. Thanks, Em. Have a great week.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
See you soon.
Legend. Thanks.
How good is the great Emilee South? She's a superstar. And make sure you get out there and see her this Friday night at the Old Bar. A couple of other quick gigs. If you can't make it to the Old Bar and you're over another way, there's a couple of gigs we just wanted to mention as well that we did as well last night, if I've still got them here. Okay, don't forget Casanovas are playing at the ESPY, launching their new album. So there's another one that the boys are rocking away at. And don't forget this weekend, he's out on the weekend at Seaworks. Massive lineup. It will be unbelievable, and we look forward to having some of these artists on the show in the next few weeks, which will be unbelievable too. We're not going to mention who they are at this stage, other than Jenny Don't is who we're going to chat to. So that'll be a really cool interview. Jenny Don't and the Spurs. So look out for that one. Next week, we've got Font coming up, who've just released their first debut album, which will be fantastic. And then the week after, Jessica Lux is going to have a chat to us. So look forward to a few stars along the way. We've got a few secret interviews, and we're still going to work out what we're going to do for that Magic Show 100 that we're going to tie in. So look out. It might be a live gig somewhere near you. So thanks for joining us tonight. Have a great week and weekend, and get out and see a band and look after yourself. Thank you. See you soon.